Here we have a selection of items from Stitch and Cobble. We have leatherwork, wooden lantern, brasswork from cloak clasps, shako plates, cross belt plates, whistles and prickers, belt buckles, housewife sewing kit, pockets, mittens, leather wallet, various selection of silk stockings and cotton stockings, some with clocks on, linen square cut shirts, full front trousers, various braces, some American Civil War ration bags, a sash, some sword belts. Here we have the parts for an officer's cartouche pouch, the small pouch that goes on the back of a hussar. The holes have been, some of the holes have been pre-punched through and others have just been marked using the same marking fork to give the same spacing. These will be punched through the side of the leather for box stitching with an awl, sewn together with 2 needles and linen thread. It will have iron buckles on it eventually, which are in the bottom of the frame, and these have been made by a local blacksmith, which are also available to buy. I'm going to jump ahead now and sew a part on, and then I'll come back. Hopefully there you can see the first buckles now attached. I'm going to put the second one on and then come back to do the next bit. Right, there's the second buckle attached. I've just realised when I was sewing those on that I actually need to do the box stitching punches first. So with the holes already marked, what needs to happen is the awl is passed. The awl is passed, get the right hole, where the marks are, and you're going through the thickness of leather coming out of the side. Of the flesh of the leather. This needs to be done before any of the parts can be put on, because the other parts end up being in the way. It's trying to remember what order to do things in for the construction of the item. And being very steady, as it is very easy to rip the side of the leather. I know modern leather workers call this stitch a box stitch, but it is quite common to see it on some scabbards, and there's a variation where it's used in the construction of some belts, where small items, the next version of it is a tunnel stitch, where you end up with a connection between 2 bits of leather and then don't see the stitching on the surface. So everything's done on the back, and it doesn't actually break the surface of the leather, so tunnel stitch. Here I've attached the strap loops down the sides because that was just straight stitching, and I think that'd be a bit boring to watch. These will be manipulated up over to form a tunnel for when the crossbelt goes on. The crossbelt tabs will go through this and then attach to the buckles. Here we have the first column joint, which is, as I mentioned earlier, box stitched using 2 needles. The stitch I'm using is actually a saddle stitch. Needles going in opposite direction through the leather. One of the ideas being is it's supposed to lock the stitches together because you tie them in a knot as you're stitching. And as they are twisted as they go through, it actually forms a lock stitch which stops the leather coming apart at the seams. So I'm going to continue down to start adding the back in, although I haven't done the other corner yet. This is a little bit more awkward, or it will be. Not so much the first stitch, but when we start coming around the corner. Because as well as the body of the pouch, I also have the strap loop to catch in. what sometimes can happen with these, doing this kind of leather work where you're punching through the side leather, as you're manipulating the leather in other ways, some of the holes do heal up a bit, so sometimes you've got to repunch them or find the holes again. I'm going to continue the next bit off camera. Here we go. The other seam now sewn up. It wasn't much point you showing the same thing again on video, but a small box pouch. It still needs a wooden block inside of it to help hold the shape, and possibly soaking in water to form the leather a bit more around. But there we are. Thank you very much.